Welcome to CiMi.CON Evolution 2017 in Berlin. I'm here with Sarah Clerkson from Sky from the UK. Thank you very much for taking time.
Thank you.
Sarah, could you briefly introduce yourself and tell us about your position at Sky?
I have worked at Sky for about 3 years now. I'm the head of customer intelligence for content and product. I lead a team of about a dozen people who are focused on supporting the content area specifically of our business, so the shows that we choose, how we schedule them, and whether or not customers are enjoying them.
And what would you say, which role does competitive intelligence play and how is it organized in your company?
It varies by division. In some areas, we're still just trying to, in the early stages of building trust and fighting the gut instincts. In my area, I'm quite lucky. My stakeholders are very keen to use the data that we have and are very wary to make any sort of major decision without having insight available. So then it's just a matter of trying to decide what insight to use and to make sure that there isn't anyone in the business who has an opposing view that might have insight as well.
Okay. And in your opinion, in what way can CI and MI add or effectively add value to a business? And do you have an example from your company?
Well, at the end of the day, in terms of market intelligence, it's really important not to measure yourself in a silo. If you just add 5% every year, maybe that's good, maybe that's bad. It's important to know what's going on. So in a company like Sky, for example, we can't pretend that Netflix and Amazon Prime aren't out there. So we need to know what customers think, what's on offer, what the pricing structure is, to make sure that we stay relevant. In terms of CI, it's just important to make sure that your customers are happy with what they have. We have the very distinct privilege of getting a significant amount of money from their bank account every month, and we need to make sure that they're happy and that they're using the service, because it's one of those luxuries, it's the first thing you cut when the belt gets tight.
All right. In times of digitization, how can CI cope with completely changing landscapes?
It's hard. You have to keep constantly trying to find new data that makes sure it gives a clear picture of what's going on. A lot of companies, particularly bigger ones, there's an infrastructure problem that comes with that. We have a lot of systems already that hold data. Can you crowbar it in there or not? That's a big problem, but you need to stay on top of it, particularly in somewhere like Sky. Again, as I say, we've got things like Netflix, and they don't have any stores. They don't have any sort of physical presence. They're completely online. So we need to understand how customers are interacting with our product and with their product and make sure that it's comparable, at least.
And what do you think are the main challenges in CI and MI when looking into the future as well? And how is the profession evolving?
Well, there's a couple of things. There's just making sure that we do have an architecture in place to hold all this data, because it isn't just a little bit that you can hold on one server. The data that we are gathering is just bigger and bigger, and we need to be able to have storage facilities and tools that can access this data in a quick way, because you can't wait around 6 months to build something new or the opportunity has passed. You also need to be able to use that to forecast the direction that places are going. You don't want to end up like Blockbuster Video, where you just end up gone.
Okay, and you've had your opening keynote like 1 hour ago.
Yeah.
It was about intelligence at Sky. So could you please give us some insights again? And what does CI look like when it comes to cable TV?
Well, the big thing with us, as I've said, is that we're quite lucky for the most part. We don't have to sell ourselves to the business anymore. Now we're just trying to manage demand. So everyone in the business wants a piece, and we're a small group. So the big thing is we've tried to set ourselves up in a way that manages demand. We've got specialists who are really good at their area. They're like craftsmen in terms of analysis or research or econometrics. And then we have generalists who are the ones who sit with the business and understand the day-to-day problems. And these two teams work together to make sure that the business can make decisions that are useful, but are also the most innovative way to use data that we can. So we've got two different areas within our business to help manage that demand, both the data and the requests to us.
Okay. And you mentioned data, so how do you combine data from the multitude of sources, and what are the key questions that you're asking at Sky?
Oh, combining the data is a work in process, because every time you get a new one, you have to try to figure out how it all fits back together. You ultimately want a single view of the customer, but customers are complex and they touch the world in a lot of different ways. So how you try to keep bringing it back so that you can see and visualize that customer and understand how to talk to them and create products that make them happy is hard. It's an ongoing process.
Okay. Last but not least, how do you like the conference so far? Is it meeting your expectations?
It's great. I mean, it's a wonderful opportunity just to leave the office, which I'll always take. We're quite busy, so it's great just to leave the office. But it's so lovely to sit in a room with people who have similar problems. Again, we're a small part of a big company, but when we all get together, we suddenly realize we're a big part of a community.
All right. Thank you very much for your time, for the interesting insights, and hope you're going to enjoy the rest of the conference.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right.